Welcome everyone to the Path of the Chosen One scenario. This is an introduction scenario, and here we will talk about the hero, character, board, and of course we will discuss the basic rules, and then we will hit the road and explore the land of Zerivia. So we already have our setup done for this scenario, and let's talk about our character board and what we have here. Here we have our Svara, Vengeful Grace. This is our hero for this scenario, and as you can see we have basic stats here. This will determine the maximum points of the starting Vigor, Instinct and Will attributes. And Svara has a special ability, and it's at the start of your turn you can move into an adjected region with wilderness icon. So she is very mobile and allow us to move more freely on the board. This will be explained later during the game. And next icon is our camp phase ability. This shows what attributes and other resources are restored during the camp phase. So as we can see, we restore 1 prime, instinct, and 2 attributes of our choosing. Another very important thing is our limits. So here we see that Svara has limits of 3 active relics and 1 ritual and 2 allies. This means that during the game on the character board you can have activated at the same time maximum of 3 relics, 1 ritual and maximum of 2 allies. You can have more these saga cards in your inventory, but during the actions you during the challenges, your activated saga cards types are limited by those factors here, those numbers. So as you can see, now we have 2 relics and 1 ally. So we are good, but we cannot have, for example, 2 active rituals. Sarah is not the kind of a very heavy ritual person. Her main abilities are around using relics. Your character may flip to the other side. This is a dread form, and you will flip to this side while you gather 3 taints. During the game you will encounter some enemies, you will face some challenges that might affect you, like the Morg tokens, and then you must put 1 taint in a corresponding slot of your attributes. When you gather 3 of them, then your character, you lose a little bit control of your character. It flips to the dread form. You cannot use any offering tokens, trophy tokens. Your abilities of the camp phase are different. You cannot use your feat cards. You get an additional ability from the banner section to summon instinct dice during the challenges, but the being in this form is not a good thing. It's like you are cursed, and all effects on the cursed characters will affect you also. So we see we have few types of saga cards here. Relics, allies, we have a different kind of rituals, but we also have feat cards. Those cards we can play during the challenge. And the last type is a story card. This will lead our adventure, like this is our side quest. In this scenario is a part of the main goal of the scenario. Let's talk about our points here. So Vigor represents our strength, instinct is like agility, and will is our mind. So we will use these attributes to activate a lot of relics, rituals, and other saga cards that we will have in play. And each time we will receive a damage where this will affect our loss of our attributes. If the attribute will go to a bottom, to 0, and we supposed to receive another point of attribute loss, in this case vigor, then we receive injury. This will put us in a much shorter range, and the next time we receive another point of damage, the injury will progress, making our life more difficult. So, and it's not an easy task to cure this injury. But this will be more explained later during the game. We can use our prime points. By spending 1 prime, you can re-roll any of your dice. And of course, during the camp phase, when you restore your attributes, if your prime is full, for each prime you will restore, you can instead restore 1 of your attribute points. The last part of the character board is our color red wheel. This is a very interesting mechanic that will show you how many actions do you have during a full cycle. So normally you have 4 actions. You can perform 1 action at dawn, noon, dusk and night, and then you go to the camp phase. Each adventure in the land of Zerivia is played over several cycles, and those cycles consist of the following phases. The first one is the Sventovitz phase. The second is the journey phase. Third is the camp phase, and the last one is Nyx phase. During the Sventovitz phase, we rotate this Sventovitz statue, and the orientation of the downstones are changed, and each downstone will affect different timer. The most interesting is journey phase, where we will use all our actions, and this is a phase where we took our hero to the adventure. After we spent all our actions, we will come back to the camp phase, where we will restore our attributes. We will be able to reorganize our saga cards, maybe summon some creatures, or ask for help any gods. If we used some of our feat cards during the journey phase, in the camp phase we will be able to restore 1 feat card also. The last phase will be Nyx phase, and according to this scenario, this will be the time when the black stones are added to the chasm of the Oblivion. Also, each hero takes 1 Morg token and places it in the chosen region of the current timer. While we are playing a solo game now, there are few additional benefits for us, and one of those is we start the game with additional 1 saga card. I choose a ritual, see Sentinel's Plate, and I prepare a saga aside, because maybe I will be able to follow the story of this ritual. And the second change is the slight change in the region options. We have 2 additional region options. One is a ritual of recovery, when we can use our prime to restore more of our attributes, and we can call upon a downstone to help regenerate our attributes and heal some injuries. And the second region option is a summon creature. We just simply may spend a trophy token to pull 1 of the creatures according to the type of region we are in. If we in addition spend a journey token corresponding to the region type, we can just check the creatures and choose one that is the best for us. Okay, so we start the game in the Caradon. Our main objective is to fulfill our story card and get rid of the threat token from the Wolf Gate and clear Uteroblaze from the Morg. Your life as a priest ended once the White Stone Temple in Slenja was burned to the ground. The horn of an unknown beast found in the ashes fuels your thirst for revenge. You head towards local settlements to find out more. So it will be good to get some more information about what's happened on the Schlenger. We need to explore wilderness, mountains and settlement, and then we will be able to put our progress here on this card each time we are visiting Caradon. And after we manage to gather all those 3 tokens, we will be able to jump to next section of the story. So let's see how our cycle works, right? We begin with the Sventovit's face, so the huge monument is rotating. So now we are under influence of Warstone. So in the camp phase, we will receive additional 1 point of vigor. And if we use a ritual of recovery, we also will be granted with 1 additional point. So we can perform 2 actions. One is exploration, second is rest. Because we are fully healed, it's good to use our first action to explore. And we can go dive into the settlements or go into mountains. Let's check the settlement card. And we have a Shrine of Belboga. If, in case we are cursed, the Holy Fire will not accept your presence. Discard this card. But we don't have any curse past. So the Mother of Gods does not forget those who follow the path of the old law. You can take a new God card. And this is cool because for now we don't have any offering tokens to summon the gods. So we can choose one of those gods. And because I'm keen to follow the heroic path, I will be choosing the Perun. His main abilities are connected to the heroics path, and I always can use this second ability in case of emergency. Then he will be shuffled back to the God's deck. The next thing is Exalted. Remove all of your taints. So if I had a Exalted path, I could use this to heal my character from taints. And this card is resolved, and because it's a settlement, I acquire 1 settlement token, journey token. And after explore, I go to the region options. There are a few standard region options that I can choose, and there are some that are only available in special places. Like for example in Caradon, because this is a cradle, I can go to the market and just trade. If I acquire more trophy tokens, I could use them to buy some items. But in this case, I can perform a ritual of recovery, but I'm healed. I can try to summon a creature, but I need to get some trophy tokens first. If this region will be affected by Murk, I can try to, by passing hard test on the wheel, I can try to remove this token from the board. Or I can just take up 1 taint and remove this token. Removing the token by this region options will grant you a price of offering token. And also I can fulfill a story or quest, and I will use this because I acquired this journey token, and I can keep this with my hero, but I'm limited to 3 tokens. In this case, because I'm in Caradon, I can just put this as a to mark that my progression in this story is going forward. And now I release my limit of 3, right? I may gather new 3 journey tokens, and each time I visit Caradon, I can just drop them to the story card in the region option. So this was my region option after first exploration. A second action, because my ally is a Korra, and during dawn or noon I can make an action, and this will grant me to disperse the Murk in the this region or ejected region. So I can use her ability to get rid of this token. But remember, this is not removing a Merc during the Merc binding ritual in the region option, so I won't be getting any offering token by doing this. So this was my second action, and because it's not a exploration, it's not a rest, I don't have a window for the region options now. In my third turn, I will use my special ability that at the start of your turn you can move into an adjected wilderness region, and I will move here, and because it's not a exploration, I don't trigger this token, so I still can perform my action as exploration to get away from this region. So I finish my exploration in the Uterial Blaze, and let's see what is the next card. Unearthed Graves. Everyone here speaks about corpse feeding ghouls. Find the source of the threat. Mark the nearest ruins region. Once there you find unearthed graves and half-eaten bones. The nearest ruins are Zernibor or Talmers. I will mark the Talmers, I can choose which one. And this will get into the kite. This becomes my side quest. And if I get there at early stages, like dawn or noon, I can perform an action and just pass easy test to get rid of those ghouls, and I will become prized. And if I do this during night, for example, I will need to fight with the ghouls then. So let's see what this will lead us. After this exploration, I go again to the region options, and I will use the Mark binding ritual, but it's very important for me to get rid of this taint, so I will just take a Merc token. I will just take a taint and I will stick this to my Vigor, and because I get remove one of the Merc tokens, I receive an offering token. So now I can trigger Parent if I want to. So last action, I will use again my ability to move to the Pomerian Forest, to Wilderness, and as an exploration I will escape from the threat to Talmers. And here I will, so I resolve a Wilderness exploration and Zerivian Sacred Site. You come across an old moss-grown sacred site. The Volkovs of the first Zerivians would make their offerings there. The sacrificial stones, through marked by the time and frozen in the silence of the wilderness, still emanate primal force. Remove one taint. It's good for me. Recover 3 additional attributes when I'm full, or take a new god card. I'm okay with Perun. In case I'm exalted, summon a creature of your choice. But I don't have any parts yet. So this was Wilderness. So I receive a journey token. Exploration is done, and now I go to the region options and fulfill.